So now we'll look it to the holography part. Okay, so let me read the. So the background part you see. So before going to this holography stuff, one must know the background content. Okay, what is the requirement of holography? Okay, holography is the technique to prepare the hologram. So what is the requirement of going for such techniques? Okay, so that is why it is very important to know the background of a particular or kind of history, basically one can also say. So before this technology, okay, we have the ordinary photograph which we were taking from cameras, etc. Okay, but remember, whatever the photograph you have captured through some cameras in earlier time, okay, that will give you the 2D image. Let me highlight that part also. And you people are knowing that before coming to the digital part. Okay, so many times in your school or in your earlier classes, you people may have went to some photo studio and they were capturing your photographs, etc. Okay, and important thing is whatever the image they are capturing for you people that will be of 2D form. Okay, so okay, but remember this thing: the object is in 3D format. That means you are the case of 3D object, but your images will be in 2D format. So when I talk about 2D, two dimensional, that means I am talking about only two axes, either x or y or z, or x or z. Okay, but when I talk about a three dimensional thing, that means the object must have all x, y, z component. Okay, so basically the third component, z component or z axis, basically represents the depth of a particular object, कि वो कितना depth में वो component है. So that is why whenever you can consider yourself as a 3D object. Okay, and your photograph has to be taken. So the final image which they are taking from the cameras, okay, photo cameras, so they will be getting the 2D image. 2D image, that means they are only just recording the x and y components. That is why they are getting the 2D images. Okay, but you are you are the example of 3D object. So you have the depth component also. So if you look at your photograph, okay, so you can just see your height as well as width, but कितना depth है आपका, जो मोटाई है, depth, वो आपको clearly photo से नहीं पता लगेगा. So that is why they are losing that particular information. Okay, so and you see the purpose in the second line, how they are getting which parameter is responsible for such kind of behavior. Okay, so you see over here the emulsion on the photographic plate. Now I hope you people are aware with that photo studio person, they are having some photographic plate as well as some kind of emulsion also. So the emulsion on the photographic plate is sensitive only to the intensity variations, right? So this intensity variation is basically depends on this 2D things. That means it intensity depends on the x and y component only. Okay, that is why they are saying 2D recordings. Okay, and hence while a photograph is recorded, the phase part, as I said, the z component or the z axis, they are not able to record it. Okay, they are recording only the x and y axis details. So that is why the phase distribution part which prevailed at the plane of the photograph is lost. So this is the important part they are losing. Okay, because this particular phase, if you are going to record, that means you can record the 3D images. But if you are losing this one, that means you are just recording just 2D objects. So 2D in the sense, if you have xy component, then at any point you know the x coordinate value as well as the y coordinate value, basically pixel. In simple language, if I say, it's a pixel. So pixels आप केवल x y z component ही आप use कर पा रहे थे, that is going to be recorded. So जो phase part है, the angle between this x and y, that is going to be lost. Okay, and that is why in the earlier time we people used to get only 2D images of 3D object. Okay, so that is how they have written over here, and sometimes they are knowing as a parallax also. So you call it as a phase part or maybe depth part also. Sometimes they are representing with the parallax part. So that thing they are going to lose. Okay, only intensity is going to be recorded. So remember, whenever you see the word intensity here in this case, that means we are recording x and y component of a particular object. Okay, and that is why your image you will get in 2D. Now come to the next part. So in the 1948, okay, another scientist, Dennis Geber. Now these names say you have to be very careful because many of the times people are over here. Okay, so if you see this word, Okay, people are just changing the words and the entire meaning is completely different. Okay, so you people have to be very careful while using the scientist name. Okay, so Dennis Geber, so he conceived an entirely new idea. Okay, and he proposed a method. So he suggested that in the earlier case we are just only recording the intensity. What about if we record the phase also? Okay, so that is why he suggested that if we record not only the amplitude but also if we record the phase part, because you know that intensity is related to the amplitude part. Okay, so if you record the amplitude, that means you can record the intensity, but at the same time if you record the phase component also, so one can get the 3D images. Okay, so one can get the complete 3D images in that case. Now let me move it to the next part. So he just suggested, he floated that idea component also to get the 3D images. Now here it is, the principle behind the method. Okay, basically what kind of principle? So the principle is this interference pattern only. Okay, so let me go through it one by one so that you people may get the complete idea of the process. So basically there are two processes for a hologram. Okay, there are two processes are related with that. One we are saying is a recording process, okay, which you see over here. Okay, sometimes people are saying constructive process, okay, and reconstruct. So this is recording process people are seeing, and the second is the reconstruct process, you can say. So you see this. So during the recording process, this is the step one for the hologram. So during the recording process, see, interference has to be there. Okay, so for the interference, you required at least two waves. Okay, so that's why they have considered over here. Look at here. One superimposes the wave to the another wave called reference wave. So as I said, for interference, you require two waves. So they have classified here as one as a object wave, and second they have considered as a reference wave. Okay, let me give you the idea what is wave, what is a reference wave. So a reference wave is directly we are taking from a source. Okay, and the second object wave is the wave which is coming out from the object or emitting from the object. So that wave we are knowing as a object wave. So now if these two waves, object wave and reference wave, if they are superimposing with each other, if they are creating some interference pattern, so then one can record the images. Okay, so that is why this recording of the recording process will be there. Now look at here the second point. So these two waves, which one? Object wave as well as the reference wave, they are going to interfere in a plane of recording medium. Whatever the medium you may have, that photographic plate or the emulsion where you have kept that material. So in that medium, they are going to interfere this, okay, and they will produce the interference fringes. Okay, so this particular process where both waves are going to interfere, okay, and recording the particular object in a medium, they are knowing as a. Now remember also this since it is the case of interference, and you people are knowing that interference are again of two type: constructive interference as well as destructive interference. Okay, so the image you will get only when the constructive interference is going to be happen. If it is destructive, then you will not see anything. Or if let's say the destructive images are or destructive pattern is not much, then you may see the blur content. Okay, so to clearly see the image, your fringes, I mean your interference has to be constructive interference only. Okay, here it is, this one. So the interference fringes, whatever you got it through this process, these are the characteristics of a particular object, and the recording medium records the intensity distribution in the interference pattern. So what I said is, see, for each object, okay, that interference pattern is going to be unique, and that is why if you see that the purpose of hologram, okay, you may have seen so many hologram in your life, okay, sometimes in some good quality books, or in daily life you see there are so many products maybe of Dabur, Patanjali, or any other brand, you can look it out which is famous, okay, on bottle or some whatever the wrapper is there, at some kind of sticker you may find. Okay, so that will be the hologram. So hologram basically serves the purpose of authenticity. Okay, so if hologram is there, so one can come to know that yes, that product is genuine and it is the original one, okay, from the supplier directly. So no one can copy that. The important part is no one can copy that hologram, because people don't know that how much data, how much depth in which that hologram is stored. Okay, so all such things will cover out, but that is the sole purpose of using the hologram, that people are not people cannot copy the content. So that is why they are putting this hologram as a authentic source. Okay, and here it is, you see, just 1 minute, the last one. Sorry. So this interference pattern, they are recording not only the amplitude but also the plane of the object wave. So basically in this case, in this holography, they are recording the amplitude, that means xy component, as well as they are recording the phase component also, okay, in the plane of the object wave where it is. Clear? Discuss mathematically also, no need to worry. So here it is. So whatever we are saying, it is not just theoretical only. We have the mathematical proof also, and it's very simple. No need to worry that. So you see this particular things, you people are familiar with that. Okay, it is like a display. Generally, people are writing. So it is just like here it is a field. Yes.
चलो वो लास्ट वाला पॉइंट कवर नहीं है पीछे वाली स्लाइड का.
Just 1 minute. Yeah, this highlighted one, the red color one.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so what I was saying, yeah, just 1 minute. So what I was saying is, you see, we are recording the interference pattern, whatever you have, either this interference pattern between the object wave and the reference wave, this is going to be recorded. Okay, so what is it has recorded, not the amplitude part, but as well as this is recording the phase component also. So where it is going to record, in the plane where that object wave and the reference wave are going to be match. Okay, that somewhere I have written this also. Just 1 minute, let me go through that. Yeah, in that plane, you see the way the two waves interfere in the plane of the recording medium. So in the recording medium, both these are going to be interfere. Okay, and that interference pattern records intensity, I mean amplitude, as well as the phase component also. So in that plane, so that is what the same thing I have written, that plane they are going to record it. So if they are recording the plane also, that means they can record the 3D component, the depth part basically. Okay, so that the same thing that have summarized all the three process.
Okay.
Whatever you see in the step wise, they have summarized in the last one.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and here you see this this part again mathematically. If you see, so one can always write the field, okay, energy field in this format. Either field you say, or you may write amplitude also. So general thing will be like, you people are familiar. Suppose if you want to write a displacement, okay, so then write, let me write down over here, it's better. You see how you will write the displacement, y equal to y naught, okay, sine, you are writing the displacement in this order, right? Y equal to y naught sine omega t, or maybe sometimes y equal to y naught cos omega t also you are writing, right? And you people are knowing that there is one theorem, okay, the Mywer theorem, by which you can write this sine component as well as the cos component in terms of e to the power I theta. Okay, so that also, yes, so you are knowing that, and you know that the cos component will be the real term, sine component will be the imaginary term. Okay, so since people are writing different displacement, okay, like this format, y naught sine omega t, sometimes y naught cos omega t. So to avoid that, what people are writing, instead of sine and cos, they are directly writing into e to the power I theta. Okay, so same thing, instead of sine theta or something, you can write e to the power I, and I have taken the angle as a phi. This is same, you see, y naught is represented with o naught, y represented with o. Okay, and instead of this sine cos, I have written this e to the power I component. Okay, so it is like a displacement which you write generally, but only thing is the format is little bit change. Okay, now come to the main answer. So this is how you have written for object wave. Okay, that is why this O is there. If you want, you can represent with some other quantity also. So that is completely your choice. So O for the object wave, you see it is depending on XY component, depend on the XY axis. O naught is the amplitude part, just like y equal to y naught. So it is the amplitude part. Of course, amplitude also depends on the XY axis. and here it is e to the power I phi. Phi is the angle between x and y. So this phi component is important that we are going to record it. Okay. So in the object wave itself, you see this angle will be there. Phi is the angle between x and y axis. So I have written in this format. So you can write O naught xy e to the power I phi in the bracket. That means phi depends on the x and y axis. Okay, so this is the object wave. One can return mathematically. Similar way, you can write the reference wave also. For reference, we are writing capital R. If you want, you can change it. Again, it depends on the xy. Again, you have to take a constant. Okay, I have taken it a over here. If you want, you can write R naught also. So both are having the same meaning. And then you see this e to the power again considered the angle. Now this time the angle will be different because these two are different waves. Okay, so for the object wave, I considered the angle phi. For reference wave, I consider the angle, let's say psi. This particular symbol we are knowing as a psi. Okay, again, this is an angle, nothing else between x and axis. Okay, so this is how you see. So again, you see, I have represented over here. This represents the field produced due to the reference wave at the recording medium. So मैंने दोनों लिख लिए. I have written for object wave also. I have written for reference wave also. Now we need to see how these two waves are going to interfere. Okay, so let me come down. Here it is. Okay, so you see this is nothing but the same thing from the earlier side I have written. Now you look at this line, the total field corresponding to object wave and the reference wave at the recording medium. Okay, so at the recording medium, the total field means total will be field, object wave plus this reference wave. So you have to take the sum of these two. So I have just taken it the sum and represented with another quantity with capital U. Again, this is representing the total field. So if you want to change it capital U or with some other name, okay, you can do it, no problem. But you have to specify that this particular term will be the total field representing for both object wave as well as for the reference wave. And now you look at the intensity. Okay, pattern recorded by the recording medium would be this one, because if you see that clearly, this formula, let me make it clear. Yeah, so you see the intensity. Okay, this is your field. Okay, energy field, total field we are saying, or amplitude one can also say. So now you people are knowing that how this intensity is related with this field. So there is a formula between this intensity and the field. Okay, so that intensity directly depends on the mod. This is the modulus of energy जो भी आपका होगा field का उसका square. So this is the formula we are having. So if you place this result, if you place the value of this uxy over here in this case, okay, so this is the total value of u. And now if you expand it, so you people are knowing that how to open this particular quantity, how to open this bracket. Okay, mod of u square, then you may write u into u star or u dagger. I don't know which symbol you have gone through, but u and u star. So this star represents complex conjugate. Okay, you people may have gone through this dagger also. Dagger will be something like this. Something like this we are knowing as a dagger. So either will be this component you have seen, or be this one. But this is how you can write u square, mod of u square. Okay, u into u star. That means u is the main part, and u star will be the complex conjugate. Okay, so it's very simple mathematics. Just refer to the 12th class. So if you open this mod of u square, or any parameter you take over here, instead of, it will be the same parameter multiplied by the complex conjugate of that parameter. So suppose if you take capital A, mod of capital A square, so then you get A into A star. So this star is the main part. Okay, that represents, it is the complex and conjugate part. Complex in the sense, suppose if you have that e to the power I phi, and if you take the complex part, then it will come out e to the power minus I phi. So it changes the sign. If it is plus, it will make it minus. Okay, and if it is minus, it will make it plus. And this is the total field. This is the total field we are getting at the recording medium. You see the total field at the recording medium, it is capital U. Total in the sense at the recording medium, both such waves are there, object wave as well as the reference wave. So you need to take the sum of these two. Okay, now intensity is related with the field with this formula, I equal to mod of u square. So if you expand it using this, as I told you, Okay, so one u will be this one you see on the screen. This is the entire value of u, this whole. Okay, so one time you have to the component this one, and second time you need to write the component with this star. Okay, so whenever this star term will be there, that means wherever you see the sign plus I, you have to make it minus I. Okay, similarly here also you need to make, so this minus you need to add it on. Okay, and then just take the product. So this is nothing but the product only, so you find out the product. So this part I'm not going into the detail because this is the mathematics part up to the 12th level. Okay, I have given you the idea how to open that, how to open this u mod of u square. You just open it. So if you open it and multiply with the remaining terms, okay, then these are the things you will get it up to here. So look at the first term, that will be o square, o naught square. Second will be a square. Third component will be, third term will be this much, and fourth term will be from here to this one. Okay, so four terms we are getting. Now look at carefully. This is the amplitude square. This is also the amplitude square. But here in the third and fourth term, you see carefully, we have amplitude term also, as well as you see both are the amplitude term, as well as we have this phase component also here. So that is why this is the mathematical proof in which we are saying that in the case of hologram, we are not only recording the amplitude, which you see in the first and second term, but apart from the amplitude, we are recording the phase component also, which is presented in third term here and in this case also. Okay, so this is the mathematical proof in which we are claiming that holograms not only record the intensity or amplitude, but it also records the phase component, which is clearly visible from the third and fourth term in the formula. Okay, let me move it. The same result I have written over here. Okay, that it depends on the angle also, phase component also. And you see now again this second line, you see it, the recorded intensity pattern has both amplitude and the phase. Just now we have seen in the final line. Okay, so Gaver called the recording a hologram. Okay, and holos basically in Greek means clear, and gram means recording. So you see the full form of hologram. Okay, so holo is basically is a Greek word that means whole, and gram means recording. So hologram means complete recording. So that is why we are knowing as a hologram because of the Greek word, but otherwise the meaning is complete recording, one can say. And you see this part is also very important. So this hologram has a little resemblance to the object. So it is almost similar to that object. But remember, this is in 3D format. Okay, and once you are, it is in image format basically. Okay, compared to the object, and in a coded form mainly. So that's how we are knowing this hologram part. Let me move it to the next. Yeah, so as I was talking, this was just the principle on which hologram is working. Now we are coming to the main part, how to create an hologram. Okay, suppose if you people also are interested in creating your own hologram, okay, so then how to do that? So I will explain this process. Okay, I will also give you an idea. There is a site, okay, like the site name is WikiHow, WIKIHOW. So you go to the WikiHow site and just type this line like how to create hologram. So you will see all such details regarding the creating hologram. So all component details, etc. you will get it. And if you are interested, then you can make your own hologram also. Okay, of course, you need to do some stuff. You need to the stuff. Okay, you need to bring it out. You need to assemble that, but it's a time consuming process. But if you are interested, then you may also go for such kind of things. So let me explain the process. So as I was said, the voice is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay, no, someone written in the chat box. Anyway, so you look at here. As I said, hologram is having two main process. Okay, keep in mind again. First is the you need to construct the hologram. Okay, so that's why we are saying construction of hologram, and the second process is the reconstruct. Okay, let me give an example. This all things will discuss it as per the screen you see on. Okay, but before that I will just ask few things so that you in one single attempt you will understand the principle behind this hologram. Okay, so let me give you the example. You may have gone through several email accounts, maybe of Gmail or maybe of Yahoo or Rediff or whatever, right? Now suppose if I give a task to you people that you need to create a hologram, you need to create a Gmail account, then what are the things you required? You have to start from a beginning. कि अगर आपको Gmail का account, suppose you are the new person or I am the new person, okay, and someone directed me that you please create a Gmail account. What are the steps you are going to follow? So start from the beginning. तो आप क्या करोगे सबसे पहले? Yes, which site? Okay. So you will open that site. Okay, you will open your browser. You will type that particular Gmail something on browser. Okay, that link will come out, है ना? And you will open it up. Then suppose you have opened that link. Okay, suppose I need to register my account on Gmail. So that gmail.com I have opened it. Let's say now it is asking for registering part that you need to sign up. Okay, so in the sign up, what are the things you need to provide since you have created so many times? Okay, and I know that many of you are having more than one account also for taking the benefit of so many services. Okay, so you are knowing that like how to create a Gmail account. So what are the steps you are going to take? अब क्या क्या करना पड़ेगा? Can someone please sign up करते time sign up? Yeah. So you need to provide name, perfect, mobile number, first name, last name, pickup number, okay, recovery email ID, of course, ID, password. Yeah, exactly. Now someone has clearly written or targeted on the particular point. You required ID and password. Of course, all the details are required, but the main important part, okay, is also the ID and password. So if you have noticed the things that your ID has to be unique. Are you getting that? Your ID has to be unique. You cannot make the same ID. You cannot take the same ID which someone has taken already. Okay, so ID आपका unique होना चाहिए, perfect. So that is one main criteria you have to keep. Second is the password. Okay. Now why I'm focusing on this part? Because this account creating, yes, strong password, perfect. So this process, okay, account opening process is similar to the constructing of hologram process. So I expect कि अगर आपको account बनाते आता है Gmail पे, then you must be able to understand the process of hologram, constructing of hologram. Okay, because similarity is almost, I mean there is a similarity in between both the process. Analogy also one can say. So आपने account open किया मतलब आपने आपको first process आ गया समझ में. क्या आया समझ में? ID यूनिक होना चाहिए, पासवर्ड आपका स्ट्रॉन्ग होना चाहिए जो आप प्रोवाइड करोगे. सो अगर आपने ये प्रोसेस किया, दैट मीन्स यू आर रिकॉर्डिंग द और यू आर क्रिएटिंग द अकाउंट. परफेक्ट. तो सेम टू सेम प्रोसेस वी आर फॉलोइंग इन द फर्स्ट प्रोसेस ऑफ होलोग्राम. यू सी ऑन द स्क्रीन कंस्ट्रक्टिंग ऑफ होलोग्राम. तो जो आपने आईडी बनाया, सेम वे हम लोग होलोग्राम जनरेट करेंगे, कंस्ट्रक्ट करेंगे. कैसे करते हैं दैट आई विल एक्सप्लेन इट टू यू. प्रिंसिपल, ओके, प्रोसेस का लॉजिक आपको समझ में आ गया. नाउ कमिंग टू द सेकंड टास्क or second step of hologram that we are saying is a reconstruct of hologram. Okay, so in what need to do in that case? Reconstruct of hologram. So just like agar aapne abhi account banaya, now who can open that Gmail account? The person who has the Gmail ID, the unique ID which you have created. Okay, at the same time, even though the person have ID, because you need to provide email IDs to someone, otherwise so you will not get anything on your email ID. Okay, so it is compulsory for us to provide our email ID in public domain, and that is why the same thing happened in the hologram. So once you create the hologram, I told you hologram is for the authenticity purpose. Okay, highly secure. So it is not like कि मैं बना लूं and then I will not provide to anyone, तो नकल होने का चांस ही नहीं. No, you need to make it, you need to float in public domain also. Fine, then only people can understand, yes, this is the original product or not. बट अगर आप सोच लो कि मैंने होलोग्राम बनाया बट मुझे तो मेरा प्रोडक्ट सेफ रखना है, मुझे सेफ्टी रखनी है मेरे प्रोडक्ट की, कोई कॉपी नहीं कर पाए, एंड इफ यू आर नॉट फ्लोटिंग इन मार्केट देन हाउ पीपल विल कम टू नो कि आपका जो प्रोडक्ट है वो ओरिजिनल नहीं है या ओरिजिनल है. So that is why certain part of details you need to provide into the public domain. That is why this hologram details you can find out on the product itself many a times. But important part over here is that password. Okay, so that password is very important, and that password the person who has created the account that only knows. Okay, so suppose if you have created the account, so you are knowing the password. So even though if I have your email ID with me, I cannot access it because I don't know the password, or someone cannot access it randomly, even though they have the email IDs because they require the password to log in. Okay, so I hope this terminology is also clear to you. That means to open your account again, okay, you need to provide same ID as well as same password which you have chosen earlier. Clear? Another one thing you have to keep in mind, suppose once you have created the email account, okay, now after some time you need to open your account again. तो आप क्या करोगे, आपको यू नीड टू गो टू द सेम साइट. इट इज नॉट लाइक कि आपका जीमेल का अकाउंट है और आप याहू की साइट पे चले जाओ एंड ट्राई टू पुट ईमेल आईडी एंड पासवर्ड सेम पासवर्ड, बट आपका ओरिजिन ही गलत है, आप साइट ही गलत पे जा रहे हो, then also you are not able to open your email account. So the important thing which I want to convey is whatever the steps you have taken in creating the hologram or in creating the email account, same process you need to go do for the reconstruct also. That means same email, same Gmail site or something, you need to open it from the browser. Okay, then go to the login page or something, then you have to provide ID and password. Now as I said, password only you people are having, you need to provide the password properly. Okay, then you can access. Now what is the purpose? So that you can read some mails which is there in inbox. Okay, and all such details, suppose if you want to change your account settings, etc., whatever the task you want to do, you can do that if you have ID as well as password. Okay, so same thing is applicable to the second part of hologram, that is the reconstruct. So suppose after creating the hologram, if I need to change something, if I need to see some data inside that, if I need to modify something, okay, so then I need to go for the reconstruct process. ओके, जस्ट लाइक कि आपने अकाउंट तो बनाया बट आपको देखना है भाई कुछ दिन बाद कि मेरे अकाउंट में किसी का ईमेल आया कि नहीं आया, कुछ डिटेल्स आई कि नहीं, सो आपको उसको री एक्सेस करना पड़ेगा. ओके, या कुछ सेटिंग्स चेंज करनी है. सो देयर सेम थिंग वी आर गोइंग टू डू इन द केस ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्टिव पार्ट और रिकंस्ट्रक्टिव पार्ट ऑफ होलोग्राम प्रोसेस. Okay, now let me go through quickly. I hope now this is very clear to you. So whenever we talk about the hologram, you just take to the analogy of this account opening process कि आपको अकाउंट ओपन करना है एंड ओपनिंग करने के बाद आपको एक्सेस भी करना है कुछ टाइम बाद फ्यूचर में. सो दैट इज हाउ दिस कंस्ट्रक्टिव एंड रिकंस्ट्रक्टिव प्रोसेस ऑफ होलोग्राम इज वर्किंग. Okay, now coming to the main theory, main part, how to construct. एक्चुअली ये तो मैंने आपको एनालॉजी बताया, एक आइडिया दिया कैसे प्रोसेस काम करता है. नाउ हाउ इट लुक्स ऑन दिस स्क्रीन. ओके, सो here you see this is the laser beam. Okay, laser light source or ordinary light source also you can use, but there is a difference you can get in the result. Okay, if you use laser beam, then you see a good clarity in your 3D image, but if you use ordinary light, the clarity may not be there up to that much. Okay, so that is why there is a difference, and lot of contents are available what happens if you use laser beam or ordinary light source. So let's keep it to very simple, and I'm using the laser beam so that everything will be perfect. And you see the laser beam, you need to incident on this beam splitter. Okay, you see this beam splitter is this one. So what is the role of beam splitter? Again, from the name it is clear, it will split the beam into two parts. Okay, now important, now I will provide you a task to you people, you find out more about the beam splitter. Now what happens, you need to find is after beam splitter what will be the intensity, is it going to be half or it is going to be the same, or what changes are going to be possible. Okay, so the task I am leaving for you, you just find out more about the beam splitter. But I told you that the purpose of using beam splitter is to split the signal into two parts. So one part is this one you see, and the second will be from this side. Okay, so now again if you see there are two mirrors. Okay, let me make it clear. Here it is. So this you say mirror, let's say M1. Okay, this mirror, and this is the second mirror, let's say mirror M2. Now important thing is the light, you see this laser beam or laser light which is splitting from this beam splitter, one part we are giving to this mirror 1 over here, okay, and after reflecting from mirror 1 directly it will come to this photographic plate. So this particular black strip you see, this is your photographic plate where you need to record your hologram pattern, okay. So this one, the light which is coming from mirror 1, okay, after reflecting from mirror 1 directly you are taking onto this photographic plate over here. So this particular signal which is coming from this mirror 1 we are knowing as a reference wave, okay. Now coming to the second, you see यहाँ से जो split हुआ था signal, if this splitted signal is onto the mirror 2, after reflecting from the mirror 2 it will go to this object. You see this is the object here, this is the 3D object, okay. So it will go to this object, and after reflecting from this object, if it is coming to this photographic plate again, okay, where is this one? So one is coming from mirror 1 directly to the photographic plate, another one is getting reflected from 2 going to the objects, and from object it is reflected again and coming to the photographic plate. So if this process, see, and at this plane when both these waves are arriving, okay, and creating the interference. Now look at here carefully, if both the waves, if the arrival of both the waves from mirror M1 as well as the object wave, that means object wave and reference wave, if the arrival is same, okay, they will create the constructive interference. So you will record a pattern over here. If the arrival time of both this object and reference waves are same, you will record the intensity pattern, you will record this hologram pattern over here, okay, in the constructive manner. That means with full clarity you will record it. But if there is a mismatch in the arrival time, okay, if slight mismatch also there in the arrival time of object wave and the reference wave, okay, so then of course it will create the this interference pattern over here at this plate, but the clarity in the image may not be there, okay. And consider a case, suppose if there is a large mismatch between this object wave and this reference wave, then that means there is no constructive interference, क्योंकि वो मैच ही नहीं हो रहा है. I think you people are knowing what is the formula or what is the case requirement for constructive and the destructive interference, okay. So if these waves are not coming at the same time, there is a large difference between the arrival time of these two, that will create the destructive interference, and in that case you will not record anything. That means completely dark screen you will see on the photographic plate. That means nothing has been recorded. Image होगा लेकिन वो blank image होगा, आपको कुछ दिखेगा नहीं, so blank image, okay. So that is why अगर आपको hologram record करना है, then the arrival of reference wave and the object wave has to be at the same time, okay. Then only you will get a clarity in your hologram which is going to be recorded at this photographic plate. So this is how this first process is working. It's very simple, okay. So more we are going to discuss maybe in the next lecture.